is how I play the game. Oh my god! What the fuck?
Oh my god. Sound good? Holy shit, is this real? Ladies and gentlemen, according to my Muxie, I just received a $1,000 tip. What? Thanks for the money, stupid fuck. From Santa Claus. Wow. If this is legitimate, thank you. Really, thank you. It's gross. It's for this.
If this is legitimate, I hope it is. I hope it's not some troll trying to commit fraud on PayPal with a credit card or whatever. But if that is legitimate, I mean, holy shit.
Thank you very, 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 very much. It's greed. It's greed. Greed is massively strong. I have no fucking self-control. Anything for this, right?
And I'll be honest, folks, this is something I've never talked about, all right? Behind the scenes, just so you guys know.
My relationship with my ex-girlfriend was not good, all right?
We're at a point in our relationship, and I'm not going to get too private because it's a very private situation. Let's just say this way. Over the years that we had been together, things had changed dramatically in our lives. Things had changed dramatically with the quality of life, relationships with our family, put it that way. Honestly, a lot of the stuff that had happened to me that negatively affected my ex-girlfriend put a big strain on her, all right? In particular, the swatting incidents that happened in 2015, I know were a big game changer because we went from basically two people who were like, man, we're just having fun and we're young and we can do whatever, you know, do fun stuff out here now that we live together in Washington. And it basically became, man, now we're two people who basically people hate us, you know? I'm just trying to be on the internet having fun playing games every day. And we got people sending police to our house with guns drawn. And then they swatted my ex-girlfriend's father, okay, who had nothing whatsoever to do with any of our shit. And then there were threats to swat her brother-in-law or her half-brother's wedding. And when that happened, it was like so messed up, all right? And honestly, you know, things were never the same, you know? When that kind of stuff happens and you have that tenseness, it screws up stuff, personal stuff in life and in a relationship. And it was just so, because, you know, how are you ever going to have a safe life? How are you ever going to have a secure life? You know, you never know what's going to happen. What's the next financial crisis that's going to happen that's going to screw everything over? What's the next situation where your life might be threatened, right? And I can tell you right now, it was all those things that happened over the years that kind of soured everything behind the scenes. And in early 2017, all right, it was almost like we were living together, but we weren't a couple. It was more like we were living together as roommates, all right? And I know that sounds really fucked up, but that's really what, you know, we were in a relationship for 5 years. We moved out here, and at first it was great, but over the years, this stuff degraded. As the trolling got worse and the things concretely got worse for us financially and trolling with swatting and everything bad, that's really when things started to fall apart, okay? Honestly. And, you know.
It's not necessarily that there was blame to be had. It wasn't like we were mad at each other
for the things that happened. It was just kind of like, what the fuck do you do? How are we going to have a normal life when we have these crazy things that happen in our lives? And every day we wake up, we might have another life-altering, stressful event that could fuck with us completely. Whether it's YouTube, something going on with YouTube and now I can't pay my bills, or whether it's getting DDoS attacked so I can't stream today, whether the cops are showing up, whether we're getting trolled in another way. You know what I mean? When every day is something incredibly nasty and stressful, it screws with you mentally, physically, emotionally. It does. Even though I might not relate that to you guys on a daily basis, it takes its toll. And literally over years, what happened is our relationship kind of just fell apart to the point where it wasn't like we were significant others anymore. Like I said, it was more like, yeah, we're here, we share a house, but we weren't getting along to a point where it was like an intimate relationship anymore, all right?
It's not about the money. It's not.
So, behind the scenes of all this stuff going on, there was always this other thing going on emotionally between me and my ex-girlfriend that was kind of falling apart.
I have a micro penis. And then when I did the research, I found out that basically there's no way to make your dick grow.
And it just made it work. It would be one thing if, oh God, I got false copyright strikes today and this happened to that. But then if you have someone who you can go fall into their arms at the end of the day and just feel good and feel supported and, you know, it's better. We didn't even have that. That fell apart. And it's like when everything's falling apart, something's going to give at some point, all right? So all that's going on behind the scenes of early 2017.
Shout out to Vidar, who took me $25. My girlfriend It's Darth Vader Viking with a wig.
And a lot of people have asked me the question, Phil, how on earth could you get engaged to someone and then within a month break up with them? How can that happen? How could you have gotten engaged in April and then broke it off and, ended the relationship in May? It doesn't even make sense. The truth of the matter, folks, and this is something I have not talked about until today, so big reveal here. The engagement was legit, but it really was a band-aid on an already broken relationship, all right? Already, we had multiple discussions where we were not happy with where we were, and we had wanted to, if you remember at that point, I made it so that instead of only having a half day where we run out and did errands together, instead I was taking a whole day, so basically, my ex and I could spend personal time together and then run and do our errands and everything, so it would be a better day. But even then, we were taking days, and we would like, what do you want to do today? I don't know. What do you want to do? I really don't know. I'm stressed out. I really don't care. Well, then let's just fucking do whatever. And it wouldn't matter. It would be like a wasted day. We wouldn't do anything significant or anything fun together, because really, it was kind of like, we were so stressed out about everything else, we just didn't care. And that was terrible, So what ended up happening was, I had purchased an engagement ring for my ex-girlfriend almost a full year beforehand, all right? And the plans that we had made were that, gee, if things finally get financially stable, we wanted to go to California together. We wanted to do a mini vacation. It wasn't going to be like a long, expensive vacation. Maybe 2-3 days in California where we could go to like Universal Studios for a day or Disneyland for a day. And I would propose to her there, okay? And then it would be kind of a fun, magical event that we would remember for the rest of our lives.
In mid-2016, I accidentally streamed myself masturbating.
And yeah, it might be where we come back and we're not able to get married right away because of all the stressful financial stuff going on back home. But at least we're engaged and we can be happy that one day we're going to get married. And then it was kind of like, well, time passes, more financial shit happens, we can't go, more stressful stuff happens, now we're not going too good together, to the point where it was like the ring's just sitting here, and it's like, when's it gonna happen? I don't know, and I didn't just want, and one day I remember we just kind of sat down, we were laying in bed together, and we looked at each other, and she said to me, you know what, you should just give me the ring, because we're never gonna find a perfect time. It seems like this is our life now. Every day is just constant stress. You don't know if we're gonna be able to pay the bills. We're probably never gonna be able to go to California. Just give me the ring. All right, so I did, and it really was completely unromantic, and she put the ring on, and we took a picture for Instagram or whatever, and, that's what I mean, like, it really wasn't legitimately, it didn't seem like it was, like, a legit engagement, because already things had been so falling apart, and a real, honestly, what it felt like was, more of just, like I said, a Band-Aid. Things were already falling apart, quick, let's get engaged, and maybe things will magically become better. Well, no surprise, we had like 1 or 2 days that were better, and then things went right back to normal, where I was worried about financially, would I be able to pay everything? She had kind of more gone off and focused on her own life. She was real focused on her job at that point. She wanted to get promoted to her job and maybe go full-time, in which case if she's working full-time and I'm working full-time, now we're not even going to see each other even less, right? And so behind the scenes, things just kept falling apart, all right? Now, I'm not going to tell you the full story, because there's a lot of other stuff that happened too. But basically, by late April, the whole relationship had fallen apart, all right? Within 3 weeks of us getting engaged, the whole thing had just, blown up to the point where we weren't getting along anymore. I was working. And we would have we would eat dinner together, and then we wouldn't even see, I would work again, and I wouldn't even see her, because she would go to sleep, because she had to work early in the morning, so I would be up at night watching stuff myself. We wouldn't even have significant time. It was like we were avoiding each other. Our schedules didn't even coincide anymore. So it really was like we were just roommates sharing a house rather than, a couple, an engaged couple. And basically we had a big blow up around the end of April, a big blow up, to the point where it was kind of agreed upon that was it, that it was over. But we knew exactly what would happen. If we announced this publicly to the world, especially after just getting engaged, more negativity, more snoops in our lives, more people trying to fuck with us and find private information and be just fucking nasty to us in general. So we kind of decided together, we're not going to tell anyone. We're just going to pretend like we're still together, all right? Until a time when she's kind of moved out and things, the truth of the matter was, I didn't tell you guys that I had broken up with my ex for like almost 2 whole months after she was gone. So she had been gone for a while, and I was doing stuff by myself. And it was funny because I remember during that time period, all right, I was doing Twitch and Chill stream. Remember the Twitch and Chill events that I had been doing? So I was doing Twitch and Chill stuff. And while I was doing the Twitch and Chill stuff, people were being trolls. They were coming in and saying, haha, Leanna, and this and that. And I was already broken up with her for a while. So for me, honestly, it wasn't even stinging at all because it was like, you're insulting my ex who I haven't talked, I don't have that relationship with anymore. But people didn't know that. So people were coming in purposely trying to be nasty to me, and it had no effect on me because already the relationship had kind of been over for a while, all right?
I'm a horrendous person. I'm all about myself.
Yeah, it all kind of fell apart in that regard. And it sucked. It did, because it was funny. It was like when things were going bad with everything else, the relationship falls apart, and then things started to go good with business. Like,
by the way, I really desperately need the money to help with my tax situation. So, hint, hint, save the house.
I told you guys, the streams were picking up. People were being positive again. There was growth on Twitch. And here I am trying to show a happy face every day. Having so much fun, streaming on Twitch. And then in real life, behind the scenes, everything was going wrong or had gone wrong. And it put a lot more stress on me because previously, the way that my life was I wake up, I spend some time with my ex-girlfriend, right? Whatever, setting up in the morning. I work, but then when my work's done, now we have a shared meal, so she's cooking or whatever.
A lot of the responsibilities of the house were shared. I know you're lying.
And the rest of the board goes unselected.
I had more income because of her income was contributing to the house budget and everything. And then when we broke up, less money, no one cooking for me anymore. It was basically a giant, no moral support. That was the other thing. If anything went wrong, I was on my own. I, didn't have anyone, again, which it's one thing when things go wrong, but you have someone to go to at night to have moral support and have someone physically be there for you to encourage you. And that completely went away from me. And it was devastating. But I couldn't tell anyone. Because if I did, I knew the negativity that would explode on the internet when all this was happening.
Devour.
All that happens, and remember, during the months of April, May, June, my streams are going good. People are coming out for my streams and really enjoying the streams and everything, right? And, it's amazingly positive, but behind the scenes, my life is a mess. I'm alone. I'll be honest, guys, I started drinking, which you shouldn't do, especially when you're depressed, but I did. I started drinking way more than a person should. At night, I was getting drunk every night. I was having some issues getting to stream some days because I was feeling so depressed.
There's people who depend on me. There's people who, they find me, I believe, as an inspiration.
Over losing the relationship behind the scenes and everything, and not being able to share that with you guys, right? Was another major thing. Really, the only people who knew about it were my parents. And what are they going to do? They live on the other side of the country. It's not like they could be there for any kind of support besides just telling me, we're sorry that what happened or whatever, and we're going to stick up. Basically, just keep plugging forward and life will get better for you, as much as a parent could. So all that happening, right? And if you guys remember, it basically what ended up happening was Leanna was doing very little stuff on the internet, or what she did was kind of stuff to mask the fact that we had broken up. And all of a sudden she started posting pictures from like her new place, a cat that lived with her and stuff like that. And people were like, Phil doesn't have a cat. What is this a picture? You know what I mean? Now keep in mind, this was months after. Oh, by the way, the one thing that I forgot to mention, all right? The one thing I forgot to mention was when my ex-girlfriend had a situation at work where she had a panic attack and I had to leave a stream and rush to the hospital, all right? That had happened. We'd already broken up. And she was already in the process of moving out of the house and everything when that happened, all right? And so for me, I was kind of like in a messed up mindset where, oh no, I had to leave in the middle of a stream and people wanted to know what the hell. It was a family emergency and I told people what happened. And some people took that the wrong way. Oh my God, Phil's telling people about his girlfriend's private business and all of that, all right? At that point, there was already so much fucked up stuff. I'm not going to get into it because there's some real fucked up stuff that happened between me and her before that day that had really gotten to me, all right? And basically, there was some very hurtful things that had happened to me.
You don't want to be butt fucked. Trust me.
And I wasn't in the right mindset. And no, in retrospect, should I have come back that day and immediately told everyone, oh, the reason that I had to leave my stream earlier today was because, my girlfriend had a panic attack and had to be rushed to the hospital, and then I had to go there to help her or whatever. No, probably I shouldn't have done that, At the same time, you guys didn't know she wasn't my girlfriend anymore. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't know that. So you thought, oh, how am I mistreating my girlfriend? In reality, she wasn't. This was actually someone who I was not really on good terms with, okay? And she was in the process of moving out and everything at that point. So really hurtful stuff had happened between us recently that I was not in a good mindset in regards to her. Quite frankly.
I didn't have to go to the hospital all that day. I didn't. because she was already had friends and stuff that could have helped her.
But apparently she had told the people at work that she wanted me to go to the hospital to get her. I don't know the full story. I don't know the full story. The bottom line is, I went to the hospital and basically she was like, yeah, you're here, whatever. And, you know, okay, take me home. And that was it. And then she was gone. Within another couple of days, she had completely moved out.
I'm good at lying.
So it's funny because, you know, people are so mad at me. And, oh, did you hear what Phil did to his girlfriend? She had a panic attack and he told the world about it. That's mental illness and you shouldn't have exposed. In reality, that wasn't the case. In reality, I was in the wrong mindset because of the breakup had already happened. And she was already on the way out the door. But in reality, no, I probably shouldn't have said that publicly to everyone on the internet. Although, the same day, she posted up pictures on the internet about, yeah, I was in the hospital and I'm okay and everything. So, already she had told the world too, so it wasn't like she was angry at me for doing it or anything like that. Let's put it that way.
You have to be so dumb to believe this shit.
YOLO Dopper did a 10-bit cheer and he says, do you think that the trolls had a bigger effect on your relationship or was it the financial situation? Honestly, both. Because you guys don't realize it's the same.
I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct.
The trolls caused the financial situation. Like, when I moved out here in 2014, I was making a certain amount of money, okay? Yes, it went down when YouTube changed all their algorithms, and therefore my videos stopped showing up in related videos or whatever. But it wasn't until mid-2015 when the false copyright strikes forced me to remove videos from YouTube, all those pre-streams that were using fan art, that my YouTube channels completely plummeted, and I no longer got any natural, organic viewership from YouTube. Instead, it was just my hardcore fans watching my stuff, and that was it. So every year, you know, I would get, especially at the end of the year, I would usually get a giant spike in views just from people searching for the new games. I didn't even show up in YouTube search anymore in 2015 because I had to delete those videos because of the false copyright strikes. So, the trolls caused the financial difficulties. Now, the trolls also swatted me, DDoS attacked me, attacked my ex, or my girlfriend at the time, I guess I should say, everywhere. It was constant. It was literally constant abuse. Everywhere we looked, there was abuse everywhere. And every opportunity that I had to do something positive, they would attack. Like I said, oh, I'm going to move to a new partnership company, attack the company. So now I can't be partnered with them anymore. It was like my whole life was permeated with negativity from this element, from these fucking people who literally made it their life's dedication to hurt me and my girlfriend at the time and my family and everyone around me. For what? What did I ever do?
If you act like an idiot, you're going to be treated like one.
So the answer to your question is both, because the trolls caused the financial situation. Yes. Have I made bad financial decisions? Absolutely. But I would never be in the situation I'm in right now, financially, if it weren't for the trolls completely destroying my YouTube business. That's the bottom line. My YouTube business was destroyed by troll activities between the years of 2015 to 2016. It's just fact. So, mid-2017, behind the scenes, things have fallen apart. I've broken up with my girlfriend of 5 years, my fiance of a few weeks, who then I broke up with. But to the face of everyone, right, to what you guys are seeing, everything's going good. I'm trying to put on this happy face every day, all right, to the public. Even though behind the scenes, I'm depressed, I'm drinking, I'm not doing well, all right? I wasn't. My whole schedule was fucked up. I couldn't fall asleep anymore. I was up till 5, 6 in the morning some days, and then getting up at like 10, 11 to work. And I was drinking at night, which isn't good. I was basically in a real bad place, all right? So, all this is going on, and then, randomly, I meet someone. And I'm not going to give you guys the details, all right? I'm not. I'm just not going to give you any personal details or whatever about how any of this stuff came to fruition, because you know what's going to happen. The more information I give is the more fuel for the assholes, and the more that they'll try to hunt down personal information and hurt me.
Why am I toxic?
I'm not going to give you any personal information. What I will tell you is this. Over the summer of 2017, I met someone.
I hired an escort to come visit me during my Christmas break. I paid her thousands of dollars.
Now, this person was someone who I just started talking with on a daily basis. I was going through a really tough time. Incidentally, she also was going through a really tough time. We were both going through really personally, really bad things in our lives at the time. And what ended up happening was, we ended up kind of being there for each other at a time when I was incredibly vulnerable and lonely, and she was going through stuff, and I was able to help her, and she was able to help me, all right? And initially, that's really just what it began as. And then, what we ended up finding out, as we talked more, is that we pretty much had a ton in common when it came to our personal lives, but also our pasts and stuff like that. We had both been through a lot. And we were both people who were looking for something way different than what we had previously had in regards to companionship, okay? And I'm trying to figure out how I can tell you guys, again, without revealing any personal info. Basically, over the course of this year, all right, what started as just like a friendship budded into something else, into me finally getting to spend some time with this woman. And, you know, after spending personal time with the woman, having an amazing time and realizing we really clicked, we really got along in person, to the point where now, and for, I'd say probably for the past 4 or 5 months, we're constantly talking, we're constantly in contact, supporting each other. You know, she has done things for me and said things to me that no one else ever has before. I really feel, and I'll be honest with you, you know, not to say a 5-year relationship is nothing, but this woman, out of anyone I've ever been with in my life, dated, I feel like we're soulmates.
What the fuck? Are you fucking serious?
Now, some of you may not understand that if you've never been in that situation, but sometimes you just meet someone and there's so much right going on when you're together and or when you talk, right? And not to say that we're perfect people and we're absolutely the perfect match, because I don't think anyone is. On this planet, I don't think you're ever going to find someone who 100% you're compatible at all times, and you know what I mean? That's not what it's about. Actually finding someone who you work with means that you find a perfect balance. Maybe this person has attributes and traits that you don't, but maybe you have a lot of commonalities as well, and when you two come together, you become kind of a perfect mesh. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I feel right now. Now, this is someone who I started talking with over the summer. Like I said, I've had the opportunity to spend 3 really nice long visits with her.
That was delicious. Oh!
And or a few other things in between. But she doesn't live here. So it's not someone who I can every day go see. And that's the worst, is when you have a long distance relationship, and especially you have a really bad day, and you really need that support, and that person can't be physically there for you. That is huge. But you know, we're toughing it out and we're finding a way out, especially, you know, when we're not together. Like I said, this morning, the first thing I did when I woke up is I talked to my girlfriend. And it feels so different. It really, honestly, feels different than any other relationship I've ever been in. It feels to me like she gets me and I get her. You know what I mean? Rather than, oh, it's just someone I like to spend time with. It's more like an actual, like I said, soulmates. That's how I feel when I think about her. All right?
To me, it's funny to see the idiots believe it. That's what's funny to me, to see how dumb people are to actually believe that dumb shit.
And, you know, it's funny because some people have said this year, you know, wow, Phil broke up with his ex-girlfriend of 5 years and immediately jumped into another relationship, and now he's rushing it. Now he's talking about having this girl move in with him. How ridiculous. It's obvious that he's just, you know, he's rushing in, blah, 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 blah. The truth of the matter here, folks, again, is that I broke up with my ex-girlfriend in April, all right? So we're talking, there was a good 2-3 months where I wasn't talking to anybody. And then I met this girl randomly. It was chance it was literally a chance, complete randomness. I wasn't looking for anyone. She wasn't looking for anyone. It was just like circumstances somehow came together that we would meet each other. All right. And talking and realizing that we had so much in common, and we both had these situations where we were going through bad times and we could help each other out, and it just butted into something else on top of that. It was so organic. It was something that naturally happened. It wasn't something that was forced in or anything like that. And by the way, it wasn't like, oh my God, she's a starstruck fan of mine, and now she's madly in love with me because she likes my YouTube videos. It wasn't like that at all, okay? It was more like we started talking and we clicked, you know, talking to each other.
It was a natural attraction. That is the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard in my goddamn life. My God, you people are stupid if you believe that shit.
Via, you know, having that naturalness rather than someone who's like, oh, I was a big fan of Phil beforehand, and now I'm a starstruck fan who gets to be his girlfriend or anything like that. It wasn't like that at all, all right? So that being said, without revealing too many details, behind the scenes starting in the summer, all right, the summer time, I started to see someone else on and off when we had time and when we could make available to be together, because like I said, she doesn't live here. She does not live in Seattle. And she's not always able to come out here to see me, you know, because of circumstances. I started to have this new relationship that really has turned into something really beautiful, okay? But I really kept it a secret. I mean, I didn't even tell you guys about it until, what, a few weeks ago? But maybe a month ago? I don't think it was a month ago. I think it was a few weeks ago, right? Where I really revealed to everyone that, you know, that I had a girlfriend. And boy, was that tough. It was tough because, you know me, I got a big blabbermouth and I like to tell you guys everything, right?
A silver-tongued talker, right?
And man, was it this year in particular, keeping things a secret about what's going on with my ex-girlfriend and that relationship falling apart, and then not telling you about my new, it was real tough to keep stuff secret, but I did my best, right? I really did. Okay? So, that being said, I finally had moral support again. Even though she wasn't able to be here every day, I finally had moral support again, which I needed so much. And you guys may have noticed that I started getting more positive. I started feeling better. I started coming out, right? The streams ended up being even more positive. You may have noticed about middle of this year, all of a sudden, I started to not be drinking all the time anymore. And I started to, even though my sleep schedule was thrown off, it's a lot different when you're talking to someone all night and having a positive conversation and just having a good interaction with someone versus you're all alone and depressed, right?
Oh, now I got a dollar tip from Tevin. Now, who knows if it's the real Tevin, who's a fucking another hemorrhoid on my ass, right? I'm not a whiny baby. I'm a mature adult. He asks, did you mention Lavaria? No, I didn't. You know what? I should. Whoa. I got a $100 tip from Alcade. Are you a functional retard? I have to ask. By the way, a bunch of idiots in stream chat are spanning. Why would Phil pay Leanna's bill? Why did Phil pay Leanna's hospital bill? I didn't. I don't know what you're talking about. Sounds like you're listening to detractors because you're stupid. Sorry, it just sounds like you're stupid. Because I didn't say I ever did that.
So you guys and gals, your contributions are literally saving my ass. However, I know, there's always another however, there's always another twist, right? What I'm nervous about now is that the taxes that I've been paying all this year for federal taxes were based off of last year's estimated income, what I made last year. I can already tell you guys, you guys have been so generous this year that I know I made more money.
I need that money, I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
In 2017 than I did in 2016. Guess what that means? I'm gonna owe more taxes than what I've paid coming up in April. Because I've only paid based off of as if I were going to make the same amount of money, and I know I made more this year. So now I got another big tax payment that's going to come due in April. Oh, by the way, there's this whole new tax plan that Republicans just passed in the United States, and no one's sure how it's going to work yet. I may end up owing less taxes for 2018. I may end up owing more. And I don't know until the actual tax information law gets given out to tax attorneys so that they can do all this work. So, again, it seems to me like no matter, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Right? So
I need to raise money in order to save my ass from these state taxes out of nowhere that came up out of nowhere. So people come out, we're supportive of Phil, let's cheer, let's sub, let's tip. They do it, great. Now I'll get past the state taxes, but now federal taxes. Oh, now you owe more because you made more money. Now where does this money magically fucking come from? You know what I mean? There's always something.
My future plans, all right? What do I have planned for the future? Well, because that's what I said. I have two New Year's resolutions for 2018. The first one is to find a way through this tax situation I'm finding myself in and keep my house. That's number one, all right? Number two is to have my girlfriend move in with me, sooner the better in 2018. Because right now, number one, like I said, it's the best relationship I've ever been in my life, okay?
I feel like she's my soulmate. I do. I truly do. And I am in love with her, absolutely. She's in love with me. Wow.
And if she were to move in, number one, she has a job that she, can probably find a job out here similar or whatever and make income to help immediately. Number two, cooking and everything, helping with the responsibilities of the house so I can get back to how I was, so I'm not constantly overworked and stressed out because I have to rush to cook meals or whatever and everything like that.
Inside of people, there is this desire to just control, hurt, take, you know what I mean? Just do what gives you pleasure and fuck everyone else.
And number three, quite honestly, I want to be with her. It's killing me to not be with her. Today, this morning, talking with her, and it's Christmas, and it's our first Christmas together, but not together. It's awful, because we need each other. We need that support, and we're not there for each other physically right now, and it sucks.
The guy's a liar. The guy's a fucking blatant liar and lying to everyone. But people are believing it because they don't know any better.
So, the sooner she can move in with me, the better. I don't know. I mean, literally, I can't even think about it until I get past late January with the tax situation. Once that situation is taken care of, then at least I can entertain it, all right? But right now, I'm between a rock and a hard place where unless I can get past the taxes in January, I can't even begin to plan out the rest of my life, which is what sucks. I feel like I'm in suspension I'm in suspended animation because of the actions of a tax attorney who fucked me over and I have no restitution against, and trolls who fucked me over and I have no restitution against. Isn't that nice?
I'm not a whiny baby.
It's terrible, right? But that's my life right now. The good news is, in 2018, if I can make things happen and come together, and maybe my girlfriend can move in with me and I can keep this house, all right? Positive change. Number one, since now I'm going to get back into the swing of things, right?
And I'm not a children's entertainer.
I've already decided I want to start doing stuff that people have been asking me for a while. A lot of people have been asking me for cooking with the king. Well, guess what? If I start making new meals and recipes with my girlfriend, I would definitely revive the series.
Stop being a moron. Seriously, stop. I'm serious. Stop. Positivity could come back in a major way if I can, number one, keep the house, and number two, if she can move in. So give me monies. A lot of positivity possible, but I have to get, you know what I mean? I have to survive. I have to survive and get to that point and not constantly be worrying about now taxes that I owe and this and that because of fucking things that people have done to me, you know?
Christmas Day. There you go. Holly jolly Christmas Day.
It's like a 5-year-old kid, you know? Whoa, Infinite just did a 1200-bit share. I got paid for your stupidity. I love it when I see the stupidity. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. I have a micro penis. Alright, I'm not dead, but I swear to God I wish I fucking was.